The warm-up takes a detour through Ohio Northern as we meet with the Van Buren Black Knights football team as they have an interesting way to start 2 days with camp here at ONU. I'm joined by Drayton Fazzoni down at the end, Cole Martin in the middle, and Lucas Hubert to my left. Lucas, been a fun kind of 2 days here doing football, but also some other activities?
Yeah, we're supposed to have a pool party. It's going to be a workout type thing, but they're calling it a pool party to make kids think it's going to be fun, but it's actually probably going to be pretty brutal. And just some other small activities we're going to be doing with the underclassmen.
All right. How's it gone so far for you?
It's gone really, really well. We have a good energy this year, and going off of what Lucas said, some of the activities we're doing, I know tomorrow we have a wiffle ball contest in between. We split the team up into an orange team and a black team,
Okay.
So we're going to have some inter-squad competition.
Is it like upperclassmen against the lowerclassmen?
No, we mix up the teams pretty even.
Okay.
We try to split the seniors evenly between everybody.
Drayton, kind of a different way to start, almost a college approach to it. How have you felt about it so far?
I really like it because, I don't know, it just seems like when everyone stays together, I think we get closer, and it's cool just hanging out with everybody and different activities like we talked about wiffle ball and all that stuff where you can't really do that if you're not staying together all the time.
Having some good food out here? Any...
Yeah, really good food, actually.
Okay,
yeah.
So you're enjoying that? You're surprised, Drayton.
Yeah, good food.
All right. Lucas, your hair is a different color than normal. What's the deal? Aren't these guys all blonde?
Well, I've been doing it for the past 3 years because our head coach doesn't really enjoy the bleach blonde hair, but this year I tended to recruit some other people, so we should be doing it tonight after we get done doing some other activities.
Everyone?
Probably
about 90% of the team are going to have bleach blonde hair this year.
Both you guys?
I'm not allowed.
He's not allowed.
They won't
actually.
let me.
I wasn't either in high school.
His hair is so luxurious and it's just so nice.
There's something about it.
Luxurious.
They won't
Yeah,
let me
it's
do it.
so fancy. I don't even know how to explain it.
It's just the thing I got going, I
What
guess.
if you guys go 10-0 and win the state championship? Will you do it then?
Yeah, I'll do it.
There you go.
I'll do it then.
All right,
You
sounds
got a
good.
goal for Van Buren. Speaking of the 10-0 is a goal anyway. But, excited to start the season. First Ottawa Hills, and then you got Bluffton, Macomb, Arlington. So those first 4 games, you guys are going to know where you stand.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough schedule. Definitely set up for a nice playoff showing, though. Like, we win games, we're going to go to the playoffs. Where in previous years it's been we could go 8-2, 9-1, and still maybe not go to the playoffs. So I'm very excited, and I'm pretty sure everyone else is about our schedule.
All right, should be a good year for Van Buren. When we return, we'll talk with more of the Black Knights here at Ohio Northern University on WOSN. Second time around with Van Buren here at Ohio Northern, part of their camp away from Hancock County. I'm joined by Drew Connor to my left, Isaac Sexton, the wrestler, in the middle, and Grant Wagner, left guard. Are you a wrestler too, Grant?
Nope.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure I wasn't leaving anybody out. Drew? Okay, good. Isaac, let's start with the wrestler. You know, football, wrestling, they kind of go hand in hand at times. How you feeling in football season?
Yeah, definitely wrestling really helps come around. I've been wrestling East Toledo a little bit over the summer trying to get in shape for this football season, so it definitely helps. Flexibility, conditioning, everything really.
And it sounds like you already have a knockout. One of your teammates here earlier today, just part of that wrestling angst came out there?
Yeah, it wasn't my real fault, but some kid, we were doing our derbies, and some kid, he was my partner, Sammy Phillips. He was doing sit-ups, and someone stepped on his head, and he got a big old gash right here.
He just stepped on his head, no big deal.
No big deal, really.
Is that right, though? What is the derby? Take us through that.
Oh, a derby is like our conditioning, and it consists of line jumps, push-ups, bear crawls, sit-ups, squat thrusts, dips, and that's one lap, and we go through that 3 times.
So it's everybody's favorite part of the day, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. How are things coming together for the line, would you say?
Oh, it's exciting. It's a younger group, but good time to learn, and exciting.
Drew, what would you say the strength of this team is? You know, we're only a few days in, but as you look at the Van Buren football team, what's the strength?
Strength of this team would probably be how closely knit we are and how much of a family like we are. I will tell you that every one of these guys is my brothers, and I would do anything for them. So I think that's the strength.
I would think an activity like this, you know, you have their Midnight Madness that you've done the past few years. Does that really help bring you guys together?
Oh yeah. It's something unique to the area as far as I know, at least. And Coach Shop does a great job with that. And organizing it and everything. So, yeah, we have a great time.
Who's Van Buren's rival?
Oh, traditionally Liberty Benton.
Okay.
That's our rival.
Is that what you guys would agree, Liberty Benton? That's
Yeah, I'd say so.
I'd say every team we
Traditionally,
play that
at
week.
least.
You know,
Whatever week it is.
Do you want to be a coach? Because that's a great coaching answer. Whoever's next on the schedule. We have one team say whatever scrimmage is next. They're looking forward to the scrimmage. But you guys, week 1, it's kind of Ottawa Hills. That's on the schedule.
week 1.
All right. We'll talk with the head coach to see what his coach answer is when we return from Ohio Northern with the Van Buren Black Knights.
Third down of the warm-up here at ONU, talking with Van Buren head coach Kevin Shout in your 5th year, and you've got your team here watching on as I talk to you, and this has been a fun experience here at ONU so far, hasn't it?
Yeah, we're having a great time. It's been pretty action-packed and kind of chaotic getting here yesterday evening, and we've been busy ever since, and pretty much will be for the next 2 days. But it's a good environment and good atmosphere for these guys. Can already see the camaraderie starting to build and the leadership starting to develop. You know, a lot of off-the-field stuff we're able to develop with things like this.
You started at midnight last night. Is there a certain energy knowing that it's midnight and like you're not really supposed to be practicing football now, but you are to get the season started? Do you notice that?
Yeah, absolutely. When we finish up practice, you know, it's well after 2 o'clock in the morning, and I start mentioning we're heading to bed, and no one really feels like going to bed because
Too
we're
much
just coming off
adrenaline,
the field.
yeah.
Exactly. But we wind down pretty well, and knowing that we got an action-packed week ahead, things typically go pretty well.
You make them do derbies at 2 in the morning?
We actually did them at 11:30 last night prior to taking the field. So, yeah, it got us rolling, got us off on the right foot. We did them outside, so it was dark and nice and cool. So, again, a good way to start the season.
Before we get to this year's team, how did this come about here at ONU? And I know did you attend here yourself?
Yes, I am an alum of Ohio Northern. I've been considering doing something like this, but we've kind of done our own thing at Van Buren where we camp out in the gym and stuff for the past few years. And I got a great group of seniors this year, a group that I knew could handle it, you know, any question marks as far as leadership and doing the right thing and just a trust factor. I knew they could handle it. So great opportunity for us. A couple of the coaches that I played for are still here. Head coach Dean Paul, you know, I played for him for a couple of years, so still a good relationship with him. And they've been very accommodating to everything we need. So it's kind of cool for me to come back, but more importantly, the kids are having a great time. You know, I think it's a perfect distance from home. Get away a little bit, but we're still fairly close.
Looking back on 2013 now, 4-6 record, how do you assess that season went, and what can you build upon?
A little disappointed with the record itself. We overcame a lot of adversity with some injuries and things. You know, just kept trying to push through regardless of what was thrown at us throughout the season. Some of the young guys ended up getting some experience due to those injuries, which bodes well for this upcoming season. And some of the guys who didn't get to play very much last year due to a shortened season with injuries and such, I know they're coming back hungry, and they were pretty determined throughout the offseason. So some goals that were not met and kind of a dissatisfied feeling coming out of last season. Kind of did a lot of good for us, I think, in the offseason. Just being determined and continuing to work and push for the goals that we all have and we're hoping to reach this year.
Is one of those goals over 500? That's something that hasn't been done in Van Buren since 1996. That's got to be the first major step you're taking. Obviously playoffs and all that, but I think it starts with maybe getting over 500.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, our schedule's a little bit tougher this year, but we think that that's a good thing. We're really excited about the opportunity to play Week 11. And they know they got to work, and they know they got to earn it, and they got to win one game at a time, as any coach would say. But for the first time in a long time, we've been talking about the possibility of Week 11, and you know we're going to win every week in an attempt to do so. So,
the senior class, you talked about it a little. What are some examples that you've seen even here at ONU of these guys leading the younger guys and really setting a good example early on?
Well, those derbies the guys mentioned, you know, our seniors do a good job of leading the younger guys through that. I have a little buddy program set up where my seniors are paired up with freshmen, a couple little events throughout the off season, but they're also rooming together while we're here. And they started out doing the derbies with each other last night. So just making those freshmen feel welcome and let them know that they're going to feel sore. They're going to screw up on some plays. Coach might yell at them on occasion, but, you know, we're all in this together. And the seniors really taking those younger guys under their wing really means a lot. I see guys sitting in their dorm rooms going through playbooks together and organize player meetings this morning with upperclassmen and underclassmen. So they do a good job of taking advantage of those opportunities to lead and be mentors to the younger guys.
And that's something that you've been working with them throughout the summer as well, right? Have you put together some leadership workshops for the seniors?
Yeah, well, in the spring I do a leadership council where I meet with my seniors. For about 9 or 10 weeks, we'll meet in the morning before school for about a half hour. I actually had Andy Lynch come and talk.
Andy mentioned he was there.
One morning. He did a great job. Again, just getting the guys to think about some things and kind of challenge them and really understand what it is to be a leader and to be someone that people look up to even if they don't realize it. I have them help with my youth camp in the middle of the summer. And I think they end up having a good time, but I don't think they realize how important that is to the younger kids
right, they
to
really
be out there
with
the high school football players. So one of these days, hopefully, they'll realize how impactful that is. But I just always try to put them in positions to where they can take on that challenge, I guess, and continue to become more and more comfortable with it.
Looking at the BVC now, 3-5 in conference last year. 3 new teams: Hopewell, Loudon, Riverdale, and North Baltimore. Where do you guys see yourself fitting into this conference, this expanded conference?
We hope to compete for a championship, a BVC championship. The change in the league itself and bringing on the new teams was a necessity for us, being that we were one of the bigger schools. As some of my players mentioned, it was tough. We could have 1 or 2 losses and possibly not make the playoffs. So, bringing in a couple of those other bigger schools such as Hopewell, Loudon, et cetera, really help us kind of boost our schedule, opened up some flexibility with non-league opponents. So we could play some schools a little more similar to size.
A couple of scrimmages, one against St. John's and then at Riverdale, leading up to week 1 at Ottawa Hills. What's the thing that you guys need to improve upon most, and maybe through those scrimmages leading up to week 1?
Well, as any small school football coach would say, we definitely need to work on our depth. So preparing that second group and getting them competitive and preparing for anything that might come our way, to our first group. And we still have some competition at the first group as well. We have more speed than we ever have at the skill positions. So a lot of competition at wide receivers and DBs. Just the depth is outstanding, but we're thin up front. So got to stay healthy and got to prepare. Anybody who we might need to lean on a Friday night. So
Andy asked some of the guys, your rival in the BVC, who would you say?
Probably Liberty Benton. We've had some really good games the last couple of years with Lipsick, so that's definitely a game on the schedule where I would really like to come out on top this year. I feel like we battled pretty well with them the last couple of years and took in defeats in both. So that's one I'd really like to win. I don't know that I'd call them a rival, but as any coach would say, we got to win the first one first. So.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Coach Kevin Schauf. Liberty Benton and Lipsick on the schedule for Van Buren. It'll be at Lipsick week 7, at Liberty Benton week 8. We'd like to thank all of our guests here on The Warm-Up. For Andy Lynch, I'm Matt Finkel. We'll see you next time.